Shocking revelations from the Middle East. January 2026 is the next great war looming, the secret plans against the Iranian regime. Dear listeners, welcome to a very special broadcast. Today, we dive deep into what could potentially become the most explosive military confrontation of the 21st century. In January 2026, Iran is simmering like never before. The streets of Tehran, Isfahan, Tabriz, and Shiraz are strewn with debris, tears, and blood. What began as protests against total economic collapse, the currency has lost 90% of its value within 12 months, has transformed into an existential uprising against the regime. Human rights organizations speak of hundreds, perhaps even thousands of deaths. Security forces are striking back with brutal severity, snipers on rooftops, clouds of tear gas so thick you cannot see your hand in front of your face. Arbitrary mass arrests, torture, and notorious prisons, a regime that treats its own people like enemies. And it is precisely this inconceivable brutality that has set off alarm bells in Washington and Tel Aviv. In darkened situation centers, planning is in full swing. The question is no longer if, but only when and how hard. The technological superiority of the West and Israel is overwhelming, and the regime in Tehran knows it. It trembles, it fears, and exactly this fear could drive it toward desperate, murderous counterstrikes. The invisible giant in the sky. The B-2 spirit nightmare of every Iranian radar. Imagine this. In the middle of the pitch-black night, four gigantic flying triangles rise from the remote base of Diego Garcia in the Indian Ocean. The B-2 Spirit, the most expensive aircraft in world history. Each machine is 52 meters wide, weighs over 152 tons, when fully loaded, is accelerated to over 900 kilometers per hour by four General Electric engines with enormous power, and climbs higher than 15,000 meters. But the decisive factor, its radar cross-section is smaller than that of a large bird. For Iranian air defense operators, even if they had the most modern Russian systems, the aircraft is practically invisible. Each B-2 carries up to 18 tons of precision ammunition in its closed bomb bays, completely invisible to enemy radar. The main weapon, 16 GBU-31 JDAMs per aircraft. 2,000-pound bombs with GPS guidance that hit within an accuracy of a few meters. 4 B-2s mean 64 simultaneous precision strikes. Imagine, in a single perfectly coordinated wave, command centers, encrypted communication nodes, missile depots, elite guard headquarters, and the luxurious bunkers of the Revolutionary Guard leadership are reduced to rubble and ash. The detonations occur almost silently from high altitude. Only at the last moment do the guards hear the whistling. Then it is all over. The B-2s launch under the cover of darkness, maintaining absolute radio silence, no navigation lights, no transponders. They fly on sophisticated routes that intelligence services have identified as radar gaps over many years. Bomb bay doors open for only seconds. The bomb's fall fins deploy GPS, and inertial navigation take over. The Iranian air defense blind, helpless, overwhelmed. The F-35 Ayadir, Israel's flying dagger in the heart of darkness. But that is only the beginning. Parallel to this, 10 to 12 Israeli F-35I Adir, the deadliest stealth machine in the world, an Israeli configuration, rise from the Negev desert from the Nevatim base. These jets look like birds of prey from a science fiction future. Their AN/AP G81 radar detects targets at a distance of over 180 kilometers. The distributed aperture system gives the pilot a 360-degree all-around view. He sees right through the fuselage. The helmet is a flying computer. All sensor data is projected directly into the field of vision. Each F-35 carries 8 GBU-39 small-diameter bombs internally, 130-kilogram wonder weapons with folding wings that can glide over more than 90 kilometers. GPS plus imaging infrared seekers automatically recognize target objects, an armored vehicle of the Basij militia, a water cannon, a truck full of snipers. The bomb selects the precise target itself. Imagine the scene outside along a demonstration route. Dozens of security force vehicles stand ready for the next brutal deployment. Suddenly, without warning, from 80 kilometers away and at high altitude, 8, 12, 16 explosions within a few seconds. Metal tears, armor plates are ripped open, flames leap meters high. The columns are incapacitated within moments. The protesters gain valuable minutes, perhaps hours of breathing room. This is not a war against a people, it is a surgical strike against the regime's executioners. Even deadlier. The spice bombs, intelligent killers without GPS. And then there are the Israeli Spice 2000 and Spice 2500 bombs that think like intelligent drones. They compare the camera image in real time with pre-stored satellite images. Even if the Iranians jam the GPS, the bomb still finds its target. It navigates around known anti-aircraft positions and hits the bunkers of the top leadership with second-by-second precision. This is about the heads of the regime. This is about revenge for the murdered protesters. Global Hawk. The all-seeing eye that never sleeps above it all hover the RQ-4. Global Hawk drones at an altitude of 18,000 meters. Wingspan over 40 meters, 30 hours or longer in the air. Synthetic aperture radar penetrates clouds and darkness. Electro-optical cameras recognize license plates from space. Signals intelligence intercepts every radio conversation. They see everything. They hear everything. They provide damage assessment in real time and immediately mark the next targets. The Iranian response. Desperation and global conflagration. Dear listeners, now comes the part that makes the blood run cold. The regime in Tehran has its back to the wall. Intelligence estimates speak of 1,200 to 2,000 ballistic missiles Shahab-3 Sejil Fateh 110 Zulfikar. Solid fuel missiles that are ready to launch within minutes. Target areas: Israel, US bases in Bahrain, Qatar, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia. A volley of hundreds of missiles at once. This is the strategy of saturation. Patriot and THAAD systems will intercept many, but not all. And then the Strait of Hormuz. 20% of the world's oil mines, speedboats with Suicide Squad's Ghadir-class submarines. The US Navy would destroy the Iranian fleet within 48 to 72 hours, but the price of oil would explode. The global economy would stagger. Hezbollah with over 150,000 rockets. Houthi drones and missiles on Riyadh. Iraqi militias against the US Embassy and bases. Cyber attacks against power grids, banks, hospitals. The regime knows conventionally they cannot win, but they can set the world on fire. And now I ask you, dear listeners, what are you thinking at this moment? Is a surgical strike against the command center of terror justified even if the risk of a regional conflagration exists? Or must the world watch as the Iranian people continue to be slaughtered simply because no one has the courage to take the first step? Would you take the risk for the freedom of 85 million people? Or is the danger of a world war simply too great? Write us your opinion, call in, the lines are open. Your voice counts in these historic hours. At the end of this path stands the big question: will 2026 be the year in which modern technology decapitates a brutal regime in a few nights, or the year in which miscalculations unleash a new terrible Middle East war? The bomb bays are loaded, the pilots are briefed, the drones are circling, the missiles are standing ready, and the world holds its breath. Stay tuned. The next hours and days will decide. This is your voice from the airwaves, always close, always honest, always unvarnished. We will be back very soon.